Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Chris and I are excited to discuss the role of data in empowering effective agentic AI. In the next 20 minutes, we'll address what agentic AI is and some real-world examples, the importance of high-quality data in enabling AI use cases, and how to coordinate people, process, and technology to drive data quality, and some practical lessons learned to get started. So, Chris, to ground our conversation, what does agentic AI mean to you?
Yeah, so Marijn, thank you for kicking off and for setting the stage for our discussion. To me, the definition of agentic AI that makes the most sense is an AI system that can make decisions and take actions towards goals with minimal human intervention. Unlike traditional automations, which require explicit instructions, agentic AI can understand context, adapt to changing conditions, and adjust actions to achieve its goals. So one example that is a simple example that illustrates this is a smart thermostat. So a smart thermostat is goal-oriented, the goal being to maintain a comfortable temperature while minimizing energy usage. It adapts to changing conditions, so it learns homeowner behavior and temperature preferences. It's autonomous. It can make decisions to adjust the temperature without explicit instructions, and it executes actions. And it could look like this. It predicts when the homeowner will return home and what temperature it needs to be at. It will calculate the optimal time to preheat the home, and then it will turn on the heat independently. And so the mind shift here is a move from rule-based automation to goal-driven autonomy.
Yeah, makes sense to me. Why is this such an important and popular topic right now?
So this is a very important and popular topic with our clients right now because it has the potential to deliver exactly what executives are under pressure to drive. That's greater efficiency, that's more personalized customer experiences or employee experiences, and ultimately a differentiation of the products and services that they can offer the market.
Yeah, so fully agree to that. So becoming automated and goal-driven with agentic AI, what are the risks you see?
So the most obvious risk is the agentic AI system makes the wrong decision. So when we think about how much autonomy to grant the agentic AI system, we have to consider the impact of that decision. Take the smart thermostat example. If the agent heats the home a little too early or sets the temperature a little bit off, the consequences are minor. There may be some energy wasted or temporary discomfort. So because this impact is low, we're comfortable granting it a high level of autonomy. Now, compare that to a more complex scenario such as airline customer service. Imagine the scenario where your flight gets canceled. A traditional AI chatbot might notify you that your flight was canceled and say, please call this number to look at rebooking options. An agentic solution could go much further. It could recognize the cancellation. It could search for alternative flights. It could prioritize these based on your preferences, issue a voucher, and then automatically rebook you. So that sounds great, but the stakes are much higher. There could be a financial loss to the airline, and it could be a bad experience for the customer. And so in this case, we might not want to grant the AI the autonomy to act entirely on its own. And so this is where a hybrid model works best, where the AI can do what it does well, the heavy lifting, gathering options, making recommendations, but a human in the loop has the final say. So the level of autonomy should always match the level of risk of that decision.
Yeah, that makes sense. I agree that we need a human in the loop when the decisions have a high impact. So do you have any examples of these risks in the real world?
Yeah, so there was a landmark case with an airline in 2024. A customer interacted with an airline chatbot to gather information about the refund policy in the case of bereavement. So the chatbot in this case provided the wrong information, a hallucination. So the airline argued that the customer still bears some responsibility to verify the answers from the chatbot, the policy was publicly available. But the court ruled that a company is responsible for what the AI agent says. So incorrect decisions by an AI agent can have huge financial or reputational impacts.
Yeah, so now understanding the risks, what is the role of data here?
Data acts as the oxygen for AI. So high quality data determines how accurately and responsibly an AI system can perform in the real world. So this is where I'd like to learn from your experience with data quality. Marijn, you've helped organizations of all sizes with data quality initiatives. What's your view on what good data looks like?
Yeah, good question. So first of all, data should be fit for purpose and needs to be based on requirements. High quality data is defined by the consumers, human or machine, and their use cases, of course. So these use cases dictate the quality of data, and the producers have a role in understanding the needs and should be supportive in achieving the goals for data quality. Second, high quality should have a documented specification. This way, quality is measurable, and measurability is what we need to learn where to improve and, of course, to what extent. The third is the trusting data by users. I think this is essential to even let data be used at all. Think of when data receives a negative feedback. The usage will decline fast. So from that point on, it's hard to restore that trust, even when the quality is back on track again. And although these characteristics or goals can sound classic, the importance of managing data quality is amplified by the new uses of data in agents, the diversity and types of data, and of course also the integrations of data with third parties.
So I like that definition. High quality data is defined by its purpose, it's measured, it's trusted through use. What are some principles we should consider to drive high quality data in an organization?
Yeah, well, data quality activities should initially focus on the critical data elements and the potential risks involved if the data is incorrect. So as you know, critical data elements are much used in an organization and have a high value. So the efforts for data quality will quickly translate to value. The second is objective measurement and transparency. Data quality should be defined and continuously be measured against the service levels in a concise way. This needs to be based on the expectations of the stakeholders because they are the experts on the data and the connected use. Also, continuous grip on data quality adds to the health of the data solutions you create. You will surely understand that losing the transparency will directly have impact on data trust. And the third principle is that the focus should also be on systematically preventing data errors and conditions that reduce the quality of data and not just the error corrections alone. So any problems should be addressed at the root cause. Finally, business process owners, or data stewards as we call them, are responsible for the data quality produced through their processes and must enforce data quality standards in their processes.
So what's different now with data needs for agentic AI versus historical data quality needs?
Yeah, so although the principles I mentioned earlier are true, we historically use language, the subject matter experts, human understanding of business, and communication to make sure we understand the data and use all the information to optimize our path to the result. That is, moving from data to information to insights to action. And with all of this, we are able to implement what operations are restricted with the data and which boundaries we accept. Agents, on the other hand, interpret by themselves. And although they show their chain of thought reasoning, they need to be fed with fit-for-purpose data to execute. And this is where metadata becomes a valuable source of data as input. So besides the data and the quality itself, I believe that context in the form of metadata becomes more important for an agent to be guided in reasoning along those lines. Data quality and controls of that metadata is just as important as having a life cycle sustaining the quality. And although I expect that agents will grow in knowledge with their learn and adopt capability, the metadata will show in the problem solving will support again. And although I expect the agents will grow in knowledge with its learn and adopt capability, the metadata will support in problem-solving process of the agent and prevent organizations from the risks you mentioned earlier.
So, how can an organization start to adopt these data quality practices that better enable agentic AI?
Yeah, in order to move forward with agentic use cases, I believe 4 steps need to be taken. These steps have both data management and data governance focus, because data governance needs to support and oversee the execution of data management. First, the agentic use case itself. So you need to start with thoroughly understanding the use case and the business expectations in a way it impacts the business goals, with which stakeholders are affected, and clarify which data it should and should not use. So this scopes the data to be accessible for the agents. Make sure to have your data stewards and subject matter experts be part of this to support data sharing from a data producer perspective. Together with business, understand the risks that automation in the process can bring. Use different data quality scenarios for this and choose an acceptable risk profile. Also describe the boundaries in a service level agreements to make sure those risks can be managed by the right teams and convert the expectations to what it exactly means from a data quality point of view. Second is the scope of data. Pay close attention to the value data will bring. So reducing the scope of data can help you mitigate over management of data and help reduce risks of not having the right quality. I believe that having less data but with higher quality is better than having too low quality in a solution which will mess up your results. Data quality management activities usually initially focus on the critical data elements. Make sure to define which these are, and investing in them is typically a good practice. There will also be a need for other data, of course, critical for this specific use case. And remember, this is not the same as critical data. Make sure to also profile the data to quickly discover pain points. The faster you will find these patterns, the more transparent you can be on meeting the expectations. And beware, you need to invest in metadata as part of your data, as a guide. A data catalog, for example, unified catalog as part of Purview data governance can be used. It will share the business definitions, rules, data profiles, and boundaries for you. So the stronger your guidance with metadata is, the easier it will be to live up to the business expectations with the solutions you create. Third is setting up data governance. This is about professionalizing and organizing data governance as it's needed to fund and sustain your data management activities. So to keep things simple and practical, it needs to help you to do the right things. Start with assigning data owners in key data areas and make way for data stewards to have a role in responsibility for data and processes. This will ensure effective control and use of data. Also, they have an important role in metadata. Think about the earlier mentioned business terminology, validated values, and rules in the business glossary. Also, creating an issue management process will help you standardize the way you solve data quality issues and improve on that data quality. Finally, the adoption should start small. Reduced scope in the used data will give room for improvement. It's also a way of getting to know how agents work together and with humans in the context of a problem. It's about growing confidence and learning. And you can expand the data scope or boost data quality when you're ready for this. Also, a small data scope helps you in the footprint on maintenance. So less data quality monitoring, improvement and remediation is needed for your use case. With a smaller data scope, the impact of adding new data can be better measured as well. With that, we can get a better understanding if the data quality efforts are a good or a bad investment. We also see that the process of enriching the set of metadata with business rules, constraints, usage, and definitions are costly and can be complex. So with that in mind, your journey could be slowed down when data quality does not yet fit purpose. So when starting small, creating a proof of concept is fine, just for showing value of the concept. But they usually cut corners. The actual issues lie in the details, as you know, and will only show with real data. I believe it's best to directly work on an MVP or a pilot to show you're sincere in solving the actual business opportunity, serve issues with data quality fast and fail fast, and show and prove your capability of data quality issue remediation improves over time. So it's about learning by doing from both data management and data governance perspective. And finally, and I mentioned this earlier, let the data quality team and business operations team be part of the MVP or pilot to grow success and deliver with the data quality improvement lifecycle. I think it's a great moment to see data quality efforts convert or to recognize the work that lies ahead to make it work. So now I have a question for you, Chris. After giving you an understanding on the adoption of data quality, which role you believe technology should play in this?
Yeah, so Marijn, you addressed the ways that people and processes play a role. We usually approach this with three ways, with people, process, and technology. So technology plays a very large role. And there's three ways that I'll highlight. One is data profiling and measurement. So tools are used to scan data to check for issues like missing values, outdated records, or format inconsistencies. And these can be done with dedicated data quality tools or with simple SQL queries or even Power BI reporting. For the second topic is automated quality rules. So this is where you set up data quality rules and you can scan data and you can implement those to correct data problems automatically. So the benefit here is you can measure data over time and see trending, you can standardize formats, and you can enrich data sets with missing context. So data enrichment is really important for Agentic AI because it gives better contextual understanding for decisions. The third that I'll highlight is governance and monitoring. So platforms such as the ones that you've mentioned, Microsoft Purview and Unity Catalog, help manage data quality across an organization, across multiple teams, where you can have the data stewards define quality, define rules, you can schedule scans, and you can track things over time.
Excellent, Chris. So my final question for you today is, what are the results? So what does good look like to you?
So I wanted to talk about a relatable use case that demonstrates how good data quality can enable an effective agentic AI system. So if we think of retailers, they have a huge data challenge to manage the optimal inventory level for each product on a shelf. And the complexity of this makes it an excellent case for an agentic AI solution. Here's the scenario. You have a retail chain that uses an agentic AI system to autonomously manage inventories at an item level across multiple stores and warehouses. The system monitors in-stock levels, it predicts demand, it places orders, and it can reroute shipments with minimal human intervention. So this requires standardized, high-quality data, such as real-time in-stock data, what's on a shelf, historical sales data with seasonality, data on things that affect demand, so promotions, economic indicators, and then data on things that affect supply. It could be weather data, it could be shipping or supply chain data. Now the AI system predicts demand volatility, it automatically reorders stock, even from the optimal supplier, it can reroute shipments to stores with higher needs, and it can even adjust promotions and pricing to balance inventory levels. So this only works well with accurate, timely, and enriched data and with trust in the system, which can be achieved by having a human in the loop for key decision points. And so we think that these types of AI systems will be much more common in the near future, and the steps to take now are to ensure that good data foundation of high quality enriched data. So to start to close, Marijn, I'd like to thank you for the discussion today. To recap, we covered our definition of agentic AI and the risks and the role of data. We covered an approach with people, processes, and technology to ensure a good foundation for data quality. And finally, an illustrative use case of what good could look like when these work well together. So I want to thank the audience for joining us today, and I'd like to invite anyone interested in continuing the discussion to comment in the chat, and one of us or someone from our team will follow up with you. As we conclude this session, please visit our landing page for more details on data and AI, and to download our guide, Make Way for Modern Data, which was jointly developed with Sageti and Microsoft. Thank you very much.